I am Sylvia Gordon. This is my sister Rebecca. We are the Sisters of Selling. We're going to have this episode only focus on one topic, which is the new CMS rule that will impact all agents, regardless of how they work, if you are working in the Medicare Advantage and the Part D market. Just when you think you could take a vacation, you could just go on a long walk and not have a worry in the world. Last Monday, CMS drops a bombshell on all of us, and now we're trying to figure out what the heck just happened and why did it happen. So last Monday, they released how many pages of a document? Well, I like to call this my Medicare theater moment, because it seems like every other day something theatrical is happening in this great industry of ours. And of course, we're talking about
the rule.
The rule.
We're going to start scrolling and show how long this is.
Regarding recording everything that you say to a Medicare beneficiary. So you will note, we're on page 2 of 199 pages. Have you read it? Have you read the Cliff Notes? YouTube video. Who the heck is going to read 199 pages? Half of this is all acronyms.
The thing is, a lot of people it's very hard to read. So you start reading it
Purposely.
And if you're not an attorney, you get frustrated and you bail out of it.
Yeah, by page 2.
Right. So that's what most agents are looking to their FMO for guidance on what this says. They're looking to the carriers. The carriers have been suspiciously quiet.
Yeah, that's what's really weird. And we're waiting for clarification from them, from our big partners. What does this mean? How are you interpreting this? And we're not hearing anything.
So let's back up. The new CMS rule says that you have to record every conversation with a Medicare beneficiary, your existing clients, your new prospects, the whole presentation.
Effective this AEP.
Effective October 1st. And
so does that mean if you are my client and I'm going to call you and wish you happy birthday, do I have to record my birthday greeting to you?
Yes, it says all conversations. It's pretty big.
It's pretty big because
let's back up and say, okay, there's more to it than that, but that's the gist of it, that you have to record all conversations. Why are they doing this? What was their motivation?
I would have to think their motivation is complaints.
Ding, ding.
I win.
Ding, ding,
I
ding.
win a prize. But then you have to look at
Go back to the rule.
Where are the majority of these complaints coming from?
So if you go back to the rule, go down here. Let me see. I think it's page 7. No, I think you went too far.
7.
Okay, forget it. It's too hard to do it this way. But what it specifically says is, hey, complaints are way up. Way up. They've like doubled this year
from
over last
year,
and they doubled last year, the year over. And while they say in the letter that we did research and we kind of think it's coming from this, which is basically the Joe Namath ads, okay, the TV ads. We're not really sure where it's coming. Therefore, we're going to be very broad and we're going to impact the entire sales force.
Everybody.
Right?
Yep.
Just everybody. So if we all know, and the data bears this out, that the rise in complaints comes from the large call centers, the large publicly funded call centers.
Go Health.
SelectQuote, Go Health, eHealth, the big ones.
Yep.
Spring, okay?
Yep.
The ones that have all the Wall Street money and they're going like crazy, hiring young guys, seasonal guys that really don't know what they're doing, that only get their bonus with high pressure sales, that they don't make any money unless they buy. They're the ones who are creating the problem. We all know that.
Right.
Okay? And they have a whole slew of their own problems with their class action shareholder lawsuits. I mean, that's why musical theater is a really good name, because it's interesting. They've created the problem. So the government is saying, hey, this is a problem. So to solve it, we will do something that does not impact the call centers at all.
Right. They already record everything.
So we're going to go after the players in the market that haven't had an increase in complaints, which are the field agents. So
Brilliant.
So all the field agents
great thinking
are saying this can't possibly be right. One, you're misconstruing it. So we went back and we said, hey, NAHU FMO Council, we've been working on this for months.
Well, we've talked about it.
We've talked about it
in previous episodes.
And so like we're not surprised about it. We're surprised that they didn't scale it back at all. But we've told you guys about it. But the carriers are like, no. TPMO, third party marketing organization,
That's the key word in all of this.
and the carriers are saying, yeah, that's not us. Who is it?
Right. Who is the TPMO? And evidently it is us.
Yeah. So CMS clarified on Friday, it's like everybody. It's
Anybody that deals with the Medicare beneficiary is a TPMO.
And so NAHU, thank God, NAHU is trying to carve out an exception for the field agent. But CMS says, hey, we're going to look into this a little bit more about what is an FMO, the first tier downstream entity, and a TPO and how they're different. And so there is maybe a little wiggle room.
Well, it's a great time right now to say, look, if you're not supporting your local NAHU, right now is the time to do it, because they're the ones who collectively will have the biggest voice with the most resources to go and fight on our behalf for this. So just a little side note, if you're not involved, get involved, because this could really rock our world.
Yeah, if you're not involved, you should be ashamed.
Especially, by God, it's May. I mean, AEP is right around the corner.
Right. So this is supposed to go into effect October 1st right now, barring them backtracking. And NAHU is hoping to get them to maybe postpone it for a year and have more.
And then that's been some other things that I've heard is that this was going to take effect in 2024.
Right.
But if you read the NAHU clarification email that came out on Friday, it said, nope, October 1st.
It said everybody, and it said now, basically. Yeah. So I had a lot of people call back and they say, we have to give a disclaimer in the first minute of talking to a client and say, hey, I'm going to talk to you about Medicare Advantage, but I want you to know that I don't represent every plan in the market. Call 1-800-Medicare or go to medicare.gov to see all plans in your market. So I've had agents right away say, I do represent all plans in the market. So right here, in my market, I represent every plan. So why would I tell them that?
Right.
So agents are like, I'm not going to say it.
Right.
I had an agent today and she goes, I'm not going to do this at all. I'm not going to record it. This is ridiculous. The clarification said that there's nothing in place to audit it. She goes, I'm not going to do it. What are they going to do to me? And it's like, oh my God.
Right. We don't need this.
That is not what we're looking for. We don't need a mass revolt.
Right.
We need everybody to band together to explain to the powers that be why the problem is created by a call center. The solution cannot be found in making us record calls. It's unnecessarily burdensome. It does not accomplish their goals in any way. We don't have the complaints.
Yeah, and then it's funny, you start thinking, well, how are you going to record it?
Okay, let's go to how are we going to record it. So the first thing that came to mind for me was not the cell phone, was
the good old-fashioned
8-track. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Holla, this is like junior high at its finest.
Let's face it. We have a very grained sales force that have not, happily embraced technology. So they're going to go to somebody's house.
Hold on one second.
And they're going to have a tape recorder.
And so don't even try to give me flack that I'm making fun of you, because I would be like this too.
I would love to take a poll of how many agents even know how to use the voice record on their cell phone right now. They don't know how to do it. And then what happens if you go to the appointment and you thought you were doing it? I do that all the time. I pressed play and it didn't play.
Right.
Then what do I do? Do I gotta
change your voice and re-record it like it's their voice? What
am I doing? Yeah. Right. So I think that it's funny that we're going to have to take a tape recorder. Now, of course, all the young people out there, they're already recording all their stuff.
Because they're using the fancy phone.
Well, they already have.
I know.
And if you might use My Medicare bot. We have a solution for this. If you're doing it, you can use My Medicare bot.
Right.
Oh, but if you're selling the old-fashioned way, and you're going to their home, and you're sitting across the kitchen table, how many of your clients are going to feel comfortable with you bringing out a tape recorder? They don't like that.
That would make me uneasy at the young age of 50. I wouldn't want somebody sitting up and say, can I just tape record this real fast?
It makes you uncomfortable.
100%.
And it gives the air that we're untrustworthy. If the government
it's setting a horrible precedent.
Right?
This is just a mess.
It's different when you're on the phone because you're not face to face. You don't see them. I think everybody's fine with being recorded. It's standard that when you call anybody, it's recorded. Sure. But to go to somebody's home, and for them to come to your office, I think it's an overreach, and it doesn't solve the problem, which is where we need to focus, where NAHU is focusing.
So that's the biggest takeaway from today is support NAHU. They're the ones that are going to.
It costs like $400 or $500 a year. Right? So they need to have the ammo to fight on our behalf. let's go to the GoCo stock, the Go Health stock.
Go.
I don't know if you can even see it. That's their stock closing today.
That's too bad.
It's like 62 cents. I don't know where we are. The start of the day it was like 62 cents. They're getting delisted. I mean, when this IPO came out, it was like over $100 million. It was a big deal. And now here we are, like 4 years later. Those guys got their money. They're gone.
Yeah.
And we're left with the problem. Thank God I'm not a shareholder. We're left with the problem.
Well, with all the fallout,
Right.
it's all falling on us.
Right. They made their money. They ran like bandits. Their shareholders are stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, now field agents are negatively impacted. So we are laughing a little bit about this. This is get a little shot of Forinda. You know, it's funny, a little funny. Because we know a lot of those guys. But we don't have an answer for everyone. Other than this, right now, this is the law of the land. We don't know how you're going to do it. They don't know how they're going to audit it. The carriers haven't spoken at all about it.
Right now's the time to be reading all your emails. Any carrier email that you get, you need to be reading it for any clarification because, you know, right now we're going into summer and golf season.
And the problem with any new CMS reg is until people start implementing it, we don't know where it's going to be fine-tuned. So one carrier will come out and say this. The other carrier will come out and say this. A third carrier. That's where FMOs, we aggregate information and we try to give you our opinion because a lot of times the carriers will diverge. We had that classically on when you could take apps.
Oh, for sure.
Where one carrier said you can't take them till the 15th. Others were like, no, you can't submit it till the 15th. And they were piling them up. I mean, we had that for years. So they'll say, well, I don't understand why they say this and you're saying, who's lying? Nobody's lying.
Right.
It's different interpretations. We're all going to interpret it differently and then implement it. And then CMS will comment on how it was implemented. And then a year or two down the road, it'll get smoothed out. So prepare that this AEP might be a little clunky.
So be watching us, be reading your emails, and we'll definitely be with you the whole time to make sure that we get through this together.
Click the subscribe button if you found this video helpful. Have a great week.
Good time.